All right, it is 1:30, so we will call this meeting to order. All members are present. So we will move on to the communication items.
All right, so today is one of our, I know for board members, it's one of the highlighted sessions. So we'll kind of walk through the administrative updates from all of our administrators before we hear from our students. So Mrs. Akerson, if you want to come on up and let us know what's happening at the elementary, that would be wonderful.
Good afternoon. Couple of highlights from October. We had our conference reporting and we had over 95% of our families attend fall conferences again, which just want to reiterate the importance and appreciation we have that families are prioritizing that, joining our staff to learn about students and setting some of those goals here in the fall of the school year. We also had our third annual family pumpkin decorating contest. It was great to see participation and the creativity that families pulled together to create those pumpkins. If you get the chance to zoom in on those pictures, very fun to see the creativity. And so we do a fun little pumpkin patch with all of the pumpkins and some different categories for awards, and just fun for families to come together for a project like that. Someone had said to me, "There's no way a student made that." And I said, well, it is a family activity. So take a peek at those, and just very neat. Also wanted to just remind you as board members and our greater community that our teachers are full-fledged into our letters training for that second portion with our second cohort. And so just being in alignment with the READ Act, many of our staff are in their second part of that. And so that is a big dedication on their behalf. And then certainly as we wrapped up the first quarter, reminding families to use Infinite Campus to access their grades in the parent portal as we shift away from paper report cards to that electronic version. And I just want to say a thank you to parents, students, and staff for a successful first quarter to the school year. It's hard to believe we are starting up the second quarter already. I have a feeling the second quarter is going to go just as fast as the first. Some upcoming dates, certainly Veterans Day tomorrow. We have our elementary students in 4th grade performing at the elementary, but they did put on their performance last week, and so I brought some students with me today that you'll hear more about their performance during the student portion. We have our Pop Packs. This is an opportunity for families to sign up to receive Pop Packs that contain food items to help over those extended weekends, giving that opportunity and for families to access that food support if it's needed. That link is found in my weekly Bulldog Bark, so families can sign up for that. And then just a reminder of no school, November 27th, 28th. And then looking ahead to December already, that late start, so families can plan accordingly. Otherwise, my bigger update is with students today.
Right. Okay, thanks, Cassie. All right, let's hear what's happening at the secondary from Mr. Rasmussen. Jesse, if you want to give us an update as to what's going on up here.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. October wrap-up stuff. October 14th, we had our fall conferences and meeting with teachers. They were really pleased with the amount of engagement that we had, especially at the middle school level. It's fun having a lot of things happening here that night, so we started pairing this with a volleyball game, and it really becomes kind of a community event where you stop in and talk to a couple teachers, and then watch the volleyball game. So it's fun to have this community atmosphere. I enjoy that a lot. One of the things that we're starting off this year a little more formally, so we get together in grade level teams every month, and we nominate students who are what we call Bulldog leaders, who exemplify our lead model, the living, engaged, embracing integrity, acting respectfully, and displaying resilience. Last year, we kind of did this informally where we passed around note cards and we had the teachers sign it and then we hand delivered those in school. This year, we are formally recognizing the students that are exceptional Bulldog leaders. And so I put on here both our September and October Bulldog leaders so you can take a look at students in our building. I'm excited to really showcase students that are living up to the Bulldog lead model and being exceptional students here in this building. Looking ahead, we have our Veterans Day program tomorrow. We have actually 2 programs. There'll be a middle school program at 9:15, followed by a high school program at 10:15. These include performances from our band and choir. This is really the first time that our band and choir get to perform throughout the year. So this is kind of a really exciting time for them, and I'm excited to go and hear them. It's always one of my favorite events throughout the year. This year, we have a guest speaker that I'm really excited to announce. It's Gerald has finally agreed to come, and after years of being asked, he's finally agreed this year. So Gerald's gonna be our guest speaker for the Veterans Day program, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say. Upcoming dates, no school November 27th and 28th. 2-hour late start on December 1st. I know Cassie said these, I'll just reiterate, and mid-quarter already coming up December 5th. It is shocking how fast things move. Yeah, amazing that we're here already, so.
All right, any questions for Mr. Rasmussen? All right, thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, community education. Let's hear from Chris. What's going on in the world of community ed? Queued up and ready to roll. Okay. All right.
Right, well, we had a special event, October 30th, the Boo Bash, and we held it at the PAC. I had a army of middle school helpers to help me with the games and activities. They were super excited and they were very good helpers. We had 112 people that were registered, and 68 of those were 0 to 5-year-olds, so we had a lot of littles. We had a lot of 1-year-olds. I had to have a little crawling space that bigger kids couldn't be in. So it was fun to see all the families, and they came in costume and they won prizes. So it was overall a good event. Our next event is a pizza pajama night, and that's in December. So that will be more of a holiday theme evening for families 0 to 5. Preschool is working on finishing up some fall testing dates or times, so we're trying to finish those up. Also, we have tentative dates set for the 2026-27 Bulldogs, Junior Bulldogs for information night and when preschool registration opens. So I have those tentative, and they're just gonna get discussed a little bit before they go, are finalized for the winter catalog, so they'll be in that catalog. Which is my next thing, is that's what I've been working on over the last week and a half or so, is just putting the catalog together, doing layout and getting the information from all the different parties that contribute to the catalog. It is gonna go to the printer on Wednesday, so that's always a good day for me, so when it goes to the printer. So then it should come out the week of December 1st, and it will feature December through, we have some of our summer thing, we have a little summer preview, usually our baseball and softball programs, we start to, talk to them about getting registered. It just kind of, we think so far ahead, but that's kind of how it has to go. Travel basketball has started with our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. That starts practices today, and we'll just kind of try to fit in with all the different things that are going on at the PAC, and it's busy. It's busy at the PAC, and gym space is getting a little more scarce in the winter. So people are starting to feel that, and so we're trying to navigate that a little bit. We had our town hall meeting for our rural child care initiative. There were about 50 people at that event. They represented a variety of different areas in the community. There was a lot of great discussion and ideas you can see up on that wall. And we as a core group will be connecting on December 18th to bring each group had to come up with 1 to 3 they had all kinds of ideas, but then had to come up with their top 1 to 3. And so we're gonna take those, we'll have some discussions around those and hopefully be able to set some long-term goals, short-term and long-term goals to be implemented throughout the next year or so, might be a little longer. So it was I think all around a good event. It was good food and conversation was lively. It was lively and we got out, we got done quickly. So that means, people are kind of ready and they know what they want. And so we finished before the time, but that was a well-attended event. So more to come on that. Otherwise, like I said, the catalog has been our focus right now. And so now we're gearing up for the busy winter season.
Any questions for Mrs. O'Brien? All right, thanks, Chris. All right, let's hear what Ken's got happening over in buildings and grounds.
Elementary school playground, I got in bold letters, done. And I got ... almost. So just a few little things going on over there, you gotta get them brackets underneath that one so the kids can't escape, so I'm with the fence and stuff, but I think it's really nice, so. One kid was out there this morning when we were putting the fence up, the rest of it, and he goes, how are we gonna get out of here? Exactly, you're not. Science rooms, still working on the polishing of the floors, they're starting to look better, we are getting some of the marks out from from when they took the asbestos off that floor, they're starting to look pretty good. Actually, Brad asked me to stop in there and I haven't done that yet. Got the grid down, so that's ready. We got, we're popping some of where the fasteners were in the wall, popping them in, getting them holes fixed, so then we should be ready for paint here soon. So that'll be nice. And I have had a nice conversation with Boss on that too, because I'm scared that cabinets are gonna be here and Boss isn't gonna be ready for it. He's like, yeah, we're kind of busy, and so he's waiting for the snow to fly. I'm like, well, get with Nate to make sure that he can correlate, not that the cabinets come before you're ready, so. The air handler, the bearings, we got 3 of them done. I am waiting for one bearing yet for the one above the gym, but the other 3 sound really good now, so that's awesome. We had the drain pipe going to the street at the elementary. That company was in town, we had that jetted. They did not have the camera in town this year, so we could not have a camera, so we don't know. But a lot of roots came when they were doing that. So hopefully we don't have any issue with it. And they said they usually do the camera every other year, so maybe next year when they're in town, we'll have that camera to see what that looks like. And hopefully it's just good, but. And then the LED lighting, all the lights that we had delivered are installed. We had a little fun activity at the elementary. Good thing it was on a day off. So we weren't paying attention in the gym, and there's a smoke detector, a beam detector up on top, and then the row of lights right in line with it. So it went up and fire alarms went off. So Cassie put that on her list that we did a fire alarm that day.
Take that.
So any other questions for me? That's all I really got. I've been sitting around not doing a whole lot, so.
Yeah, right? Believe that, I got some lakeshore property. All right, thank you much. And I will do our activities director, so he is a shared position, and so he has class until 1:57. And so we thought, well, we'll probably be all right, but we're whipping through our updates, so I will just kind of share with you what he presented for us today. I'll just read it, and this is what Rick had presented for us. So the fall seasons have concluded and we're transitioning into the winter seasons. Thanks to all the families and fans who supported our students throughout the fall. I want to shout out to our student section for making big strides in being positive while attending games. I think our school and our CMC conference is ahead of the game in being proactive with asking our student section to be positive while attending games. As we transition into the winter season, I encourage families to get their sports physicals completed if they need one. Minnesota State High School League forms completed, and pay for participation fees. Forms can be found on the Minnesota State High School League website or in the high school office. Fees can be paid in the high school office or by using Infinite Campus. If those fees and forms aren't completed and turned in prior to the first practice, those students are not eligible to participate in practices or games. Sports and activity schedules can be found online, but are subject to change based on weather conditions, sickness that hit the team, official shortages, busing shortages, and anything else that could change the schedule. And I'll just make a note there, my sidebar, clearly not his. Watch that schedule, because that really is the online schedule is the place to keep track of the most updated information. I will close with a thank you to our fall workers who officiated, collected tickets, scoreboard and clock operators, bookkeepers, supervisors, line judges, concession workers, announcers, libero judge, trainers, cross-country meet timers, spotters during the football games, sound system workers, chain crew, custodians, and to our coaches. We appreciate everything you do to help make our games possible and provide a great experience for our student athletes. As you can see, it takes a lot of people to make all these things happen for our students. And so thank you to all of the workers, the coaches, and to Rick for coordinating all those things. If you have any other questions, please reach out via email or let me know and I can get them connected to you. But that is our kind of seasonal transitional update from our activities director. Okay. All right. So there's the communication items.
So we'll move on to student presentations.
All right, the moment that y'all have been here and waiting for. Mrs. Akerson, are you ready to take the stage with your crew?
We are.
Okay.
I think we'll stand back here so you can see the screen.
Let me. Go in here.
I'm sure it's just fine. Just takes a minute, right?
Okay, all right. Is that the first page?
It's not
That's
that one.
Okay.
This will work too.
Well, hold on. Oh, here we go.
That'll work. So we are here today to share with you how we honor our veterans and celebrate Veterans Day at the elementary school. A very rooted tradition for our school, and there's a lot of time, energy, effort into celebrating our veterans. And so I brought with 3 fourth graders today because fourth grade is when they put on the Veteran Day program through their music class with Mrs. Strand, but they also do different activities in their classrooms as well. And so next slide, you can see their pictures and who is with us. We have Owen Leeser, give a wave, Lily Campson, and Grant Thompson. And again, they're fourth graders this year. And so they're gonna spend some time, I got nervous there where those pictures went. They're gonna spend some time talking about what we do to celebrate and honor Veterans Day. If those pictures aren't working, okay, quick glance. So we're gonna go left to right.
One of our students' parents got the Legion Color Guard to present the flag at the beginning of the play. This picture shows students saying their parts to honor the veterans and still serving soldiers. The other picture is us singing a song about America, and we have paper plates in our hand making an American flag. That was me saying my part. Your Green Gold Flag was written by George M. Cohan in 1906 for a musical play. That's me singing my solo as a soldier, saying he will be home real soon. The flags in the background were donated by my mom, Randy Campson. The middle right flag shows the soldiers who were never found. The farthest to the right are the symbols of the military and, of course, our American flag.
And then the blue one is the Minnesota flag.
And another tradition that we have done at the elementary school is our Wall of Honor. And this provides students and families an opportunity to identify our veterans and service members. And so they get a little poster and can write their name, their branch of service, and how many years they've been serving. And so our Wall of Honor continues to grow in our elementary school. And it's really neat for all of us to walk by that wall and remember how and why we are here. So that Wall of Honor is there. If you are at the elementary school in the next couple of weeks, I encourage you to come and take a look. Our next slide, we put together for the fourth grade program a video of the fourth grade Wall of Honor people. This is a 3-minute video. I don't know if you want to watch it here, if you want to watch on your own time, but it is there for
Here, I would say here.
for people to view.
Right here.
We'll sit during this part.
Okay.
It's instrumental music that plays, I guess because we're sharing. It won't.
It should be. Oh, I'm gonna just pause for just 1 second and try to get some sound. Hold on just 1 second. That one's working. That one's working.
Oh, looks like the one on the
Oh, it's
computer itself is shut off on
Ah,
our
down
end.
there. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, now I just froze that.
And like I mentioned, these are not all of them. These are just the ones that the fourth graders submitted for their program.
I don't think so. Oh, there's something was moving. Can somebody go find Leah for me, please? Yeah. Thank you. Cause I need this for more than just this. I'm going to see if I can get on here, cause maybe it is something in the room. It might not, oh, there. So. Well, I am going to, can we circle back to this? And we can watch, the Wall of Honor. I know you guys have to head back, but do you wanna pick up the next section and I will,
It's only 3 minutes, why don't we just watch it here?
I can't get it to play right now.
Oh,
So it's, I'm frozen for some reason, I can't. I don't know. That do anything for me?
I was hoping there were batteries that I could.
Yeah, no, nope, it's a charger. It's got a, okay. We'll ask Leah to come in and we'll get this, between now and the time we're done, we'll have an opportunity. So I'll make sure that it's recorded and make a note of where that is. So see how that works when technology doesn't work, right? So here's what the next slide is gonna be. So if you wanna kind of talk through and then as soon as this is ready, I'll show this to them after you guys are done. Is that okay?
Yes. Our
Okay.
very last slide as we wrap up Veterans Day, it really gives us the month of November to have attitudes of gratitude. And so throughout the month of November, we have a trees of gratitude display in one of our hallways. And our students are going to participate in this activity. And we would like you to also participate in identifying something that you as board members are grateful for during the month of November. And so we will hang your leaves on our trees of gratitude display at the elementary school. Manel's got the display if you
There's
wanna.
kind of the display of what it's gonna look like hanging on the trees of gratitude.
When you've got yours, one of our students can come and pick it up and put it in the envelope. Do you want to, you do not have to put your name.
I'm grateful for Kenny O. Won't be.
And as you're finishing, just want to say a thank you for allowing us and our students to come over and spend part of their day here at the board meeting, sharing with you how we celebrate and honor our veterans tomorrow and every day.
Thank you.
Right here, Caleb. So we're gonna take just a short little breather before we transition to secondary. I froze and I'm not quite sure how to.
You stood up for 2 seconds and explained myself.
David might be able to.
Oh, I haven't written anything on my leaf yet.
Well, I was just gonna. There's not room on the leaves.
The brain's not thinking right now at the moment.
I tried, that one doesn't.
It's not frozen, your mouse ran out of battery.
Well, see, there you go. It's lovely.
I'll go see if.
So
If we have any batteries down here.
switch me out. I don't know that it's got batteries or if it's. I am grateful for Caleb. Thank you. Well, that's an easier solution.
Yeah.
Janelle, I have a mouse on my.
Do you have a mouse up there? You got to charge it. Got the charging.
My internet quit all.
Thank you.
Yes. Verizon, okay. Finally started, sure, too many people, whatever. It was the weekend. Finally started.
Love that.
Thanks, Caleb.
They were clapping, they were clapping.
All right. Caleb, do you want to try adjusting that for me up there?
Okay.
Yep.
I was gonna move my stuff, that's right.
Try that one?
Got it now.
Okay. And the other one. All right. Should we try the video now?
Thank you.
All right, let's do it. Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, no.
I am thankful for you. I just wrote you on my leaf. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna just, not quite sure why my it's still not functional, but, oh, it's down here.
Yeah, it was on that one.
Yep. Caleb, any idea why I might not have sound?
Yes.
Whoops.
Is this a,
Can you go over on that side? I wanna
That's what I'm
get out of the,
That's what I'm trying to.
can't get out of this. Why is my
Keyboard dead.
Is my keyboard dead too?
No, your keyboard.
Nope, I got,
Oh, is the keyboard dead for real?
purple.
Gotta change the batteries, I guess.
Did you unplug the other?
Oh, I suppose that.
Oh, I
I'm
did.
from
if they're
Is it for both of
The
them?
mouse is for both.
Oh,
Yep.
shoot.
Okay.
I do have one solution, if I can run down to the Innovation Center, I can
That would be
grab it
wonderful.
real quick.
Thank you. Well, Rick, we covered your goodness, but I'm telling ya, we're in punt mode right now. Anything you wanna add since our technology's not working? I've done your section.
Oh, thank you for doing that. I'm sure you said it very eloquently. No, I guess we're in that transition phase going from fall to winter and trying to get everything lined up, and Cassandra's been a great help with that so far, so yeah, I guess everything is going smooth.
Good. I did give a special, just acknowledgement to, your last paragraph where you talked about all the coordination of all the people that make all the events happen. It's a lot more than I think people recognize, so, thank you to all the helpers, and thank you to you and Cassandra for coordinating and pulling it all together. So, that was our little stopgap.
All right.
So, and then I did say you had class, so thanks for making it happen.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thanks.
I am wonderful. If you guys wanna go ahead and get going, yes, so, while we're waiting for the rest of the technology woes to become history, Maria Rasmussen is here from the secondary to kind of give us our secondary student updates, so take it away.
So we at the secondary have implemented lead time. We started last year and we're kind of rolling that out into high school. We are super excited about it. This is not something that every middle school and high school is doing in the state. And so I get very, very excited sharing that we are doing this with our middle school and leading into high school, because it's a big deal. It's something that we are kind of paving the way with. So we are very excited about that. And I have two high schoolers here who are going to be sharing, and they are also really, really, really excited about sharing with you today.
I'm Cassidy. And I'm Shelby. We're ninth graders and we're going to be talking about lead time. We have lead time for 20 minutes every day. On Mondays, we do SEL, which is social and emotional learning. Tuesdays through Fridays, we do reading interventions. SEL, the topics and examples, we do self-awareness, respecting others, self-control, peer pressure, and emotional regulation. Reading interventions, there are 22 teachers. It is 6th to 9th grade, going into 10th next year. We use FastBridge data to form groups, and for interventions, all students get reading support or boost at their reading level. Groups at the secondary are mainly working on fluency and vocabulary and comprehension. For fluency, students practice reading passages fluently and with a quick pace. Vocabulary and comprehensive. For vocabulary and comprehensive, students read books in small groups and focus on building the vocabulary. Some do reciprocal teaching, where they participate in high-quality conversations and discussions.
Very good. So our overall structure that we do for lead time over here at the secondary now is mirrored off of the elementary, which the elementary has been doing for a very long time, power, half hour. We've just brought it over here into the secondary. So we're focusing on reading interventions as well as SEL 5 days a week, 20 minutes. And hopefully we're moving toward the entire K through 12. We'll be doing this eventually. So that is it.
So I want to just piggyback off of one thing that Mrs. Rasmussen said, and I would guess if you guys talk to your, like, if you have friends that go to schools in other schools, they probably don't have this, right? One of the things that Mrs. Rasmussen said is that, this is something that Paynesville area schools is paving the way. And I think it's a really, I think it's something to be very proud of. I think Maria has kind of said, like, we should just, like, package this up. And we should, because I think some of the things that I hear my colleagues, other superintendents say, I know Mr. Rasmussen, when he's been at principal meetings and workshops. And so because Maria serves as our academic specialist, she's in a lot of networking opportunities with other school districts with their literacy specialists. And we are so far ahead of where they are to be able to say, you have it built in your schedule. Yep. You have like structured interventions. Yep. This is something that we have that is so amazing. And so what do you guys think about it? I'm gonna really put you on the spot. Is this okay? Okay. What do you think about it?
I like it. I think it helps me.
Very cool. Yeah. And how many kids are in your lead time?
Well, it kind of like depends on which group because there's like higher groups and lower groups. So like, it just really depends on what group you're in.
And those change, don't they? Yeah. So, again, that's something that I think, thank you for sharing and bringing to light because I think we have some really cool things to be proud of here. So kudos, nice work, good job.
Yay.
Okay, solution.
All right.
Should have audio too.
Okay, so let's do this. And let's. I'm gonna just hit play.
I should.
Thank you.
Thanks, Toby. If you need any more, you know where to find me.
do you want to show your final slide one more time? Or should I just,
There was one slide, I think at the very beginning, we didn't get to, the art.
okay,
Are you okay to share that? Okay. I think it's the one with the excellent or the exclamation.
Yes. Great.
yeah, so that's still not loading, okay.
You wanna just talk about what it was?
This was an art project that we were working on for the play, and it was meant to be a flag that looked like it was billowing in the breeze.
Or you can kind of see, you can kind of see them.
Or there you go, slide 4, you can see what they look like. So those were used.
Oh, yeah, those, very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being really patient with us. That was kind of awful, wasn't it? I don't know if you're sweating as much as I was, but woo-wee. You guys, and thank you for coming and speaking with us today. We're excited to hear the program tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Ostendorf is their chauffeur, so we will say, see you later.
My chauffeur hat.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I'm gonna reset, get, Cindy her mouse back, but, so the next, portion of our meeting here is really, the beginning of our strategic planning process. And so I will invite Wade and Cindy up, and I think Cindy is, why don't I just, let you two, take the floor and let us know what you need, but welcome, Wade and Cindy McKittrick with Better Use Solutions.
Are we good if we're?
Yep, I'm gonna give this back to you.
You need it, cause
I don't know.
I'm okay without.
Nope, I'm okay now. All right. I will give this back to you though, so that, because I want you to be able to get what you need. All right.
This way we hide from the camera. So again, we're gonna move to the parts that we can quickly, and the parts that we can't, we'll take the amount of time. But we're waiting, Cindy McKittrick, we own Better Use Solutions. So you're aware, there are things that'll be coming up eventually.
I do need that. You can have it.
No, I just need the, I think.
I can do fine without it. It's okay.
It's the wrong doggle.
I think it was the wrong, I think, yeah.
Oh.
They probably look the same.
Yeah.
So Better Use Solutions is a company that was founded upon the sole purpose of wanting to come along and walk alongside people and organizations to help them be better in what they do. A very simple thought process, but it's what our passion is in the world right now is we hit a phase of life where we said, you know what, we really want to make a difference. And how can we do that, and how can we walk alongside people and do that? So we do that in a various number of ways. Our backgrounds, I have 35 years in education, anywhere from a para-educator up to a superintendent. And everything in between. No community yet. I steered away from that as much as I could. And Cindy brings a great background of education, private sector and nonprofit to our organization as well. So,
Oops, sorry.
there you go.
Okay, I'm actually going to, this one's small because I want to bring this over here so that I can share this with the community.
There we go. Back here. So
before I go any further, anyone say thank you? We always consider it an honor to be able to come along and work alongside organizations. So we thank you for choosing Better You, and what we want to do is we want to ensure at the end of this process, you say, wow, we're really glad we did. So our guarantee to you is we put in the time, we do the work, and we try to be as responsive as possible to customize things around what you want and what you need. As Superintendent Buller and I've visited about the process and who to bring in, you're gonna see that there's no two processes that are exactly the same. We don't do a canned approach to strategic planning because there are no two school districts that are exactly the same. So we're gonna work with what you need and what you want to accomplish. To start with, you're doing well.
Yep.
So to start with, as your administrative team went through 6 type of working genius training. And 6 type of working genius is a model, it's a foundational model to all the work that we do at Better You Solutions. I'd love to say we invented it, we didn't. We work alongside the table group. But I asked Cindy, who is a certified facilitator, 6 types of working genius, if she would begin this training by giving you an overview of what that actually is. You're not gonna receive the full training, that's a long process. But we wanted to give you an overview because as you go through strategic planning, there are different phases of work that take place. And that each one of them required different geniuses to come out to the forefront. But it's also to help to make sure that in your areas of frustration, you don't get frustrated. Because if you have the language and the knowledge on why we're doing what we're doing, it does eliminate some of that frustration of, can we just move on, please? No, we can't. We need each step along the way. So Cindy, step away and turn over to you.
Which one, what were you pushing? This one?
Janelle's running it, just let her know to switch sides.
Okay.
I thought he was
He was before.
I think we were.
You are now.
Anyway, we'll get there.
Okay.
So I was invited in August and got to work with some of the admin team on the 6 types of working genius. And so I just wanted to do a really brief intro into that. And so why working genius? Working genius is really 80% productivity and 20% personality. So when you hear about different personality tests, have you taken DISC, Strengths Finders, Myers-Briggs, some of those are on personality, but this is really 80% on productivity. How are we most productive in our work? What brings us joy and energy versus what frustrates us, so we can understand that. And it's also important to know it's a ranking, not a rating. And so I'm gonna go through really quickly the 6 geniuses. It doesn't mean you're really, really good at one and bad at the other. It's just what brings you the most joy and energy versus what maybe frustrates you or drains you. Okay, so with that said, they are our God-given natural talents. And so as I talk about like maybe what some of my frustrations are, I can't make myself come up with ideas any better than I can. Like I can't work on that. It just doesn't come naturally for me. Some of the why working genius, there are 10 different bullet points here. One thing that we want is to have that common language of Wade will be talking about we're in the ideation phase. What does that mean? So we're gonna have a common language on that. I really need some people that are strong in discernment to really be given their input here. This is tenacity, we're in the final stages. So if we understand what that means, then we'll have that common language. Some of the reasons we went through with the staff or the admin team: preventing burnout, boosting morale, leading better meetings. Is anybody against those things? So those are all different. If we had time, I would pull you guys into the conversation a little bit more, but for sake of time. However, if you were like super excited and can think of something in the last couple months where this is played in, please speak up. You can go to the next slide. I do have a handout for you that I'll give you that gives you the definitions, in a minute. Because I also have a teaching background, I know if I give this to you, all you're gonna do is read it and not listen to me anymore. So it goes from high level, 30,000 feet, down to finishing the task at ground level. So I'll just go through these. It's acronym WIDGET. So any project or idea starts with wonder. Somebody has to be up in that head in the clouds. I really wonder about this. How could this be better? Is there a better process we could use? Could we be doing things differently? All of those. We have a wonder genius here. We have a wonder genius here. We have a wonder genius here. You were IG, right? Invention galvanizing. And so that's really high level how anything starts, is somebody has to wonder about it. After we've wondered, then it goes into invention. So that's the person that just really naturally, not me, comes up with ideas. Brainstorming sessions, you just really love those. A wonder brings up, they're wondering about something, and right away, that the person with invention is just like coming up with all kinds of ideas. After we come up with the ideas in a project, we need some discernment there. So we need the people that just have that gut, that intuition. This is a good idea, this is gonna work, or maybe have you thought about this in that idea? Invention and discernment can really go back and forth. I have this idea, well, have you thought about this? Oh, what about this idea? Yeah, that sounds like, what could we? So go back and forth with invention and discernment. Once we get through that, we get to the galvanizing. So that's the person that's really gonna rally the troops and get people on board. So they come alongside after wonder, invention, discernment, and they're gonna galvanize people. And it's also kind of an accountability person to hold people accountable in the process. The enablement really is responding to the galvanizer. So we're taught, yep, it's time to go. We've wondered, invented, discerned, galvanized, and the enablement person is that person is just like, yes, I really love what you're talking about. How can I help? So if you can think of people, or maybe that's yourself, how can I help with that process? And then tenacity is boots on the ground, cross the finish line. We're gonna dot our I's, cross our T's, and really finish up a project. So in strategic planning, this is such a great concept for you guys to have an understanding of, because if you fall down here in the ET, and we're up here in the wonder, invention, discernment, we're talking about things, you might be going, come on, can we just move to no, we can't. We have to go through this process in that, you can go to the next slide.
Oh, you do have control, my bad.
Oh, you both have control, uh-oh. Two superintendents got control of the mouse. This is a battle. The battle of the soups here.
I love it.
So this slide, the reason I put this one up here is not only does it show you widget, it shows you a little bit of a definition. It shows that 30,000 feet to 5,000. A really good example of this, and you guys probably heard this, is if we're in a plane and we're flying around and we're all in a group and we're up in the air in this plane and somebody says, I wonder if we should stop and get gas. Like, that's a problem to solve, right? An invention is like, hey, let's go to Minneapolis. And the discernment says, do you know there's a snowstorm in Minneapolis right now? So the inventor, it goes back up and, hey, how about if we go to Phoenix? That sounds great. There's a lot of things we can do in Phoenix. Discernment says, galvanizer says, hey, while we're in Phoenix, we're gonna go to this restaurant that I know about. We're going to go on a hike. Enablement says, I love that. Can I help out with some of those planning and call the restaurant and do those things? And then tenacity is, hey, sit down, get your seatbelt on, we're gonna land this plane. So that kind of, it's not that wonder's more important and it's up here, and tenacity is just the steps that we have to go through. The other important thing you're gonna hear about is ideation, activation, and implementation. Again, having that common language. You might be doing something and we're wondering and inventing, and somebody says, well, what about this detail? Wade or I might say, or Janelle, you know what, really appreciate that, but that's more of an implementation question. You've kind of taken us down here. We're not there right now. We're up in the ideation phase, so we're just gonna stick here right now. That's a lot better than saying, Cheryl, we don't have time for that right now, okay? We're just gonna keep brainstorming, right? Does that sound better the first way I said that? Yeah. So again, the common language, something an aha that people always have when I go out and do trainings is what we call crave and crush. Real quickly, a person with wonder, they just want consideration of their ideas. And they're crushed by somebody who says, who cares? We have 3 wonders for sure, I know, that have taken the assessment. We might have others in here. But sometimes Wade will say something to me and I'm like, well, whatever, keep going. And then he'll look at me, I'm like, oh, was that kind of like I just said, who cares? I'm sorry. So invention, they want freedom. They want to be able to think about things and not have the constraint of, well, we've always done it this way. Freedom to think outside the box. Discernment, they want trust. I just know. I can't prove it. It's not black and white. It's not data driven. I just know in my gut. Does anybody know a person like that in your life that you go to? It's like, wow, they just always know. Or maybe that's you. Maybe you're like, yeah, that sounds like me. Galvanizing, galvanizer, I'm actually a GT in my geniuses. We want some kind of a reaction. Doesn't even necessarily have to be you agree with me, but some kind of a reaction. Apathy, we're just crushed by that. Like, come on, I'm trying to rally you around this. Enablement, they want appreciation and they're crushed by being overlooked. I was just laughing. Rick is your activities director. As you were reading his report, I was trying to remember, I was pretty sure he had galvanizing as a genius, but I'm like, he's gotta be a GE. That whole thing, you get, they call it, like a GE is called a enthusiastic encourager. And as you were reading it, I'm like, it's gotta be E. He's gotta be G. In fact, I pulled it up, didn't I? I was like, I knew. It sounded just like a GE, the way he was like appreciating people. And I just wanted to do a shout out to this total galvanizing enablement genius. Tenacity, we appreciate clarity and are crushed by ambiguity. I gotta know. If you're gonna tell me how to play a game, I gotta know the rules. I have to understand it. What were we doing the other day? Do you remember? And it was like some kind of a game or something. Anyway, I couldn't start until I knew all the rules and understood it. This was really interesting. Janelle is an IW, Invention Wonder Genius. Jesse is a Wonder Invention, so it's the same thing, just flipped around. Cassie is a ET. So it was like a big aha for them when they're in their admin meetings and Jesse and Janelle are up here doing all of this and Cassie's like, can we just get the work done, you know? So that's.
Tell me where we're going.
Yeah, that's there. You can go to the next slide, right? So you have everybody, it's a 10-minute assessment you can take. And I love this concept because it's so simple. You have 2 geniuses, 2 what we call competencies. You're capable of doing it. You don't mind doing it. People see that you're good at it, and so they might want you to do it more than you probably should because you get some joy and energy from it, but not a lot. And then you have your 2 working frustrations, so the things that just don't come naturally to you. For me, that's invention and discernment. I need somebody else come alongside me for that. This is the admin team, I just put this in here so you could see. So when you have a group do assessments, you can run this part of a map and it will just list everybody here. This is what I pulled up earlier to look at Rick. I was like, yes, EG, I knew it. And then the next one, then you can run a team map that will put everybody, and this is just the 2 geniuses and the 2 frustrations. The competencies are on this map. But this can be really helpful when you're with a group of people to see where are our gaps? Do we have any gaps? You know, Ken is our person in that group that had a genius of discernment. You can really pull people into a conversation by, what do you think, Ken? What's your gut telling you on this? Those kind of things. It was a pretty balanced team though, right? Of those people in the room. So yeah, that's where this can be really helpful. And you can tell if you are in a meeting that's an ideation phase, some people that maybe wouldn't have it, look at Cassie. Frustration in wonder and a frustration in invention. So while you guys are doing your thing and she just like doesn't really have a lot to offer in the wondering and the invention, that might be why. Frustration doesn't mean she's frustrated sitting there. Well, I mean, she can maybe a little bit wanting to move on, but it means it just doesn't come naturally to her. So she might not have a lot of input in that. If I'm in those kind of brainstorming meetings, maybe I'm gonna do that too. You'll notice here Janelle as our leader, frustration and galvanizing and tenacity. A leader has 2 times the impact on a team. So they just need to be aware of that as they're working through things. What does that mean? Oh, maybe we're gonna rely on these other people for their geniuses, that kind of thing. But what do you wanna do for a wrap up in that?
So what I really wanted to make sure that you had that overarching, you may not know exactly, you know, what your working genius is, but based on just some of those descriptors, did some things resonate with you more than others? Usually those people who are finishers, they're like, oh yeah, give me my sticky note, my to-do list, and I'm gonna be in happy land, let's just go.
Yeah.
And the dreamers are usually resonating pretty well from the beginning with the wonder and invention. But we wanted you to have an idea on what those meant, because as we work through the strategic planning process, there's gonna be parts where your geniuses will come out, and there will be times where your frustrations may come out. I wanna make sure I really hit on this part for you. Cindy said, just because it's a frustration, it doesn't mean that you can't do it well. Tenacity is one of my frustration areas. I can do paperwork the best with them, I'll finish with the best with them. But it will suck the life out of me while I'm doing it. You know, I'm not gonna spend 5 days a week, 8 hours a day doing tenacity work. It'll simply make me unhappy. But I can do it well. So please we never put anybody in a box or and say you can't do something. It's just important to know the steps to the work and to make sure that we don't skip steps. Everybody can relate to some time where you were on doing some planning, or you were making decisions and it was ready, go, set. And working genius, following the process, it stops organizations from doing that. We follow the steps, we get good results. And that's what we want to do with strategic planning.
So I want to give you an opportunity. Do you guys have any comments?
It's been very informative to put things that you feel every day into words. And it's been fun to see how other members of our team, especially people we work with very closely, have different working geniuses, and how can we collaborate in a way that's a little more, for our admin team, we're up here and we do a lot of the brainstorming, and Cassie helps land the plane a lot of times, and that's been fun to, have people who have different working geniuses help with different steps of the process.
Can I board members, is that something that you would like to know as we kind of go through this process? This is one of the things, and when I mentioned that this is one of the pieces of work that our admin team have been doing. Is this something that would be helpful for you to know what you're more naturally drawn to as we work through the steps of the strategic planning process? It's a 10-minute question.
For myself, yes.
Okay.
And just what Jesse said and what we've learned right now with yourself, with Jesse and with Cassie.
Mhm.
I could just imagine if you never knew that, but you couldn't understand why Cassie was never where you're at and why Jesse was always there. So I think, I didn't mean it like that, but.
I think one of the parts that I think as what I'm excited about in this process as we engage in where do we want to go as a district and what do we want to be doing? I think if some of you are in the tenacity and galvanizing, like let's just get to these spots, and somebody else is up in this, well, here's where would it be helpful to know that of fellow board members?
Yeah.
That was I think it might be helpful. I can just send it to you and it'll, and you can take it and we can put it on a map and I can share it with you all.
That's great.
Let's do that, yeah.
It would be helpful for us too, as we go through the process.
Because one of the things you'll notice that as you go through pieces of work, your geniuses will be where you naturally want to pull everything. As a wonder invention person, and in meetings, when I'm doing planning with people, if given the freedom, I will always pull the conversation, almost always, back to wonder and invention. And if not, when I didn't have the terminology, could really spin a plate really well. But you didn't get to that final boots on the ground getting the project completed because about 3/4 of the way through, thought of 3 different ways to do this better. And sometimes you just need to get it done. So that terminology, I think, would be great for you. So how many of you were part of, I don't know how long you've been on the board or in the district, how many of you were part of the construction of your last strategic plan? All right, so how many of you have gone through a strategic planning process of any sort? Okay, so there are lots of ways to strategic plan, all right? When Janelle and I spoke about this, I think one of the things that resonated about the process that we use is we are exceptionally intentional about stakeholder driven. That as a school district, it's our responsibility to be meeting the expectations of our customers. And our customers are our community. This is their school, right? So what are those expectations that they have of you as a school district? And once you know the expectations, you can invent the solutions and you can knock that thing out of the park. But making sure that we have the feedback from the folks that are in the district, and we're not just making plans in a vacuum that don't reflect the needs and desires of the community. And so as we walk through the strategic planning process, we will spend a lot of time right up front really gathering a lot of information directly from people. We will sit across from people in small groups and be asking questions. You're going to experience those today, but we're going to be asking those questions and listening for answers. And as we work our way through, that's where we pull our priority work from, which end up driving the strategies, which drive us into our action plans. But everything's with intentionality and it's with feedback. So what are we going to do throughout the process? We're going to identify the key stakeholders that you want to make sure that you have us touch with. We want to clarify those stakeholder expectations requirements. We're going to complete a self-awareness audit. Again, that's data. I understand you just had a lot of data presented to you as a school board at the last school board meeting or a couple times ago.
The last work session.
Last work session. So, I see some of it here. So you're seeing some of that, but we're trying to do a little bit deeper dive than what you normally see so that you'll have lots of data, not only about demographics of the school and achievement in school, but what about your community? What exactly is the makeup of your community? What is community ed doing for the community? Are we engaging? We're going to walk through that just so we have that awareness. So as we're setting priorities where we actually need to set them. right? We want to clarify the district vision, mission, values, beliefs, goals, and strategies. Make sure that as we work towards implementation, that there is a district scorecard that's in creation. Because if we're gonna be accountable to it, we need to measure it, correct? And if we're gonna measure it, we need to use that information. You know, are we doing something, we made a plan, did it get us the results we wanted? If it didn't, why would we keep doing it? You know, it's time to go back to a different strategy. And we utilize that scorecard well. And then we will assist in operationalizing strategies and communication plan for your stakeholders. The final product will include the full plan. And you have this presentation that people can access.
Yes.
So those two hyperlinks, it just gives you an example that you can look at. Here's a full plan. I believe I threw Wabasha Kellogg's plan up here. We just completed that recently. And one page communicator is another district. Again, no two plans or communicators look exactly alike. We wanted to represent you. But then the final product will also have the scorecard and the continuous improvement action plan templates that we'll work through. Your responsibilities as a school board. One is you're responsible for helping to identify the key stakeholders for the focus groups. So we want your input on who are those people that need to be at the table. Helping in determining the strategic plan development team. Who is that going to be? You'll do that alongside Janelle. But you know, one big question that you're going to have to answer is, are all the board members going to be on that committee? Or are you going to have representatives be on that committee? What is your exact role going to be in that? Oversight of the process, again, accountability, asking questions, making sure you're holding the boots to the fire. Tell us about this. How's this going? How's that going? So we want to make sure you're doing oversight in the end to see the plan and to approve the plan for initial or for implementing in your district. Today's work, we're going to look at a few things. Again, hard end time is
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, because we have to be at 4 o'clock.
Kind of slaying it, yeah.
Yep, just want to make sure I'm abiding by time.
Yep.
And the clock is right now, right?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That may seem funny, but actually I did that once. The clock was an hour off. And people started doing this, and I'm like, what is going on? And, yeah, that was not a good day in the life of faith. So today's work, we want to work through, we're going to briefly hit into the action effectiveness matrix, envision future. We want to do a little bit of analysis on vision and mission. Stakeholder creation, and 8 questions that we have to ask of you. All right. Again, some of this we'll move through really quick, but have you been thinking about who those key stakeholders are? Have you started processing through? Who's made a list?
In my head. Start saying mental list.
All right, good. I was looking for that high tenacity person that said, no, not only did I think about it, I've got it onto a spreadsheet, alphabetized, and I'm ready to share that file with you. So an action effectiveness matrix, really, in the simplicity term, it's simply looking at what has been going on in the district for the last 5 years. You know, we work and we try to be really intentional about things that we do, but we also know that there are things that we randomly do. We know that there's things that we plan out and we put our best thoughts forward and they fail miserably. And we also know that sometimes we hit some random acts that have incredible results. What I'd like to do is just quantify a little bit of that for information purposes. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this. So this is the brainstorming. All right, some of those things, we're going to start up in the top left quadrant. What are some of those things in the last 5 years in the district that you've been very intentional about doing that have had effective results? So you planned it, it accomplished what you had hoped to plan, or hoped to accomplish.
Student learning process.
Student learning process?
Yep, kind of what we were talking about at our meeting with Fast Bridge and all the things we're doing. We are intently working on student learning.
Yeah. Make a note for myself. You call it your MTSS?
MTSS.
What else have you been intentional about that you believe have had good results, effective results?
I'd say community engagement in the sense of like community activities, community ed, and involving community in the district through other district activities and.
Read my mind. That's what I was thinking of.
Communication, both with the community and with the parents and students.
What else?
Engaging our teachers.
What are things that you intentionally have done that ended up kind of being stinkers? You know, they ended up being less effective than what you hoped they would be. And if you guys have none, I'm gonna be so embarrassed because I can list off about 15. No.
Bringing students to the district.
So open enroll, kind of open enrollment or none?
Whatever it takes. Open enrollment, just a.
That's just a portion of it. Okay.
Things are going pretty well.
That's a good thing.
Hard part. I would say, we at the secondary level, is this, can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah, and you guys feel free as well.
Yeah, yeah, everybody.
One of the things that we've worked hard to do is after COVID kind of said parents can't be in the building, how to re-engage our parents in the building. And at the secondary level, specifically around conferences, we've tried so many different things. Like we even offered a spaghetti dinner and there was like 5 people that came and probably 7, or there were maybe 10 and 7 of them were staff. But you know, how do we re-engage parents in a, so we tried some things that we thought were intentional. And say that again, Thomas?
Like engaging parents in an academic.
In an academic, right, I would say there's community engagement, our activities are full, our community ed has got a lot of stuff going on. But from an academic, you know, that, because information has also become so different, because they can access it so, like, at their fingertips, so.
You don't have to come to get the report card.
Yeah,
No, you can just do
so
that, yeah.
there was some intentional efforts, but we didn't necessarily get the results that we were hoping for, I think.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Free and reduced forms. I think that's a statewide issue, but
Application.
we're trying to be intentional.
Benefits.
Yeah, the application for educational benefits.
We even changed the name. It just doesn't work. Yeah, good example.
I guess, I'm not sure if this is intentional or unintentional, but MCA specifically just getting kids to actually take the test.
Oh, yeah.
MCA emphasis. And maybe just as a little background there for you guys, so you have a little, so over the course of the last 3 superintendents, probably, there have been philosophical differences around the emphasis or the weight or the importance of an MCA. Am I saying that appropriately? So we had, and I would say when I was coming on board, that was a question that was asked, and I said, I see their place and their value, and I also don't think it's the end all be all. Well, we had one that was an end all be all, and then we had one that was, so I think that was again, part of, and what we're seeing now is we're trying to make but that MCA score and that rating still just becomes so, so there's a little history on that.
Another good example. How about the things that you've done that were unintentional? You really didn't take time to plan it out and have this big initiative, but something happened and it was really, really effective.
One of the things I noticed, and I don't really know exactly how you'd write it down, but for some reason, intentional from the whole student body, the instructors, administration, the school seems to get along really well, right? When I was a kid, there were kids that, including myself, most people in the school, they didn't know who we were. I don't get that impression here. In addition to that, it's made it, unintentionally, I think it's made it a lot safer here. Because these kids or students and others have a method to be able to share potential issues with others to halt them before they get serious. But it's like a total culture change in the school, which is positive.
That's awesome.
Letters training? And not knowing where that was gonna lead, and how well it's done for us now.
Yeah. Wasn't on many people's minds when it was said you will do this.
And this school had done it before, it was, you will do this. So it was.
We were a couple years ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the board made an intentional act, but the unintentional was that it was not, like, they didn't know what was coming from the READ Act perspective. They just knew that student learning needed to have a different focus and emphasis. And so that was another thing that prior to, so 5 years ago, that was an active conversation that you all had as a board.
You're way ahead of the ballgame.
Yep.
How about any of those unintentional things that ended up being tried that weren't very effective at all? It ended up having an impact somehow.
Can I bring up one that I would say the jury's still out on, and then you can decide where it goes? Is the focus of the block schedule.
That's what I was thinking about that a little bit.
I don't know where that belongs right now, because there are pros and there are cons, and there's a lot of conversation about it. And it was an intentional shift, but I don't know where the outcome, right? So I'm just not.
The block schedule kind of started and then we got into COVID and everything got mixed up, but I don't look at it, it's kind of unintentional, but it's like we're not really throwing it out. We are able to adjust and make it work. But maybe with changes that aren't according to.
So maybe you're saying it was intentional of doing it, but you're not sure how effective it is yet in what you were aiming for. It's kind of in between right now.
Yeah, I'd say we were totally intentional going into it. Then everything changed. You upended this whole educational system during COVID, and then we came back and Janelle right now has really worked hard on trying to, and all administration, on how to adjust this to make it work better. It is not nearly what the original platform was. But it's working. and I think we're just kind of getting better
But
at it.
is it effective on the same side?
Yeah.
It literally sits right in the middle of that whole floor. It was an intentional process, but it's unintentionally changed, and we haven't determined its effectiveness, so.
And that's kind of what I've heard from the community too, it's kind of makes you think, some subjects, they think it works better than others, and just, where's the happy medium?
Alright. Cause what I think is important for us to be able to do as we walk into the planning stage, to realize there are things that happen in all these quadrants. And we wanna live in this quadrant as much as we can, which means we need to be intentional, we need to discern things really, really well. We need to galvanize people around ideas, we need to implement things with fidelity, and we need to measure. And that would drive us into our improvement process, that we get into that new study act mode then, and we realize what is working well and what's not. So.
Do you want it up right
Yeah, if you
now?
don't mind throwing that up on the wall, that would be fantastic. So, when you think of these things, you know, were they planned? Was it in alignment with something, a future that you intended? You know, was there clarity? Step one in determining where you want to go is having a picture of where you want to go, right? When you plan a vacation, you don't start packing your suitcase before you know where you're going, right? Everybody in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
Same thing with the school. If we don't have clarity in what our envisioned future is, then any plan will do, because it'll get us to someplace. So it's important that we understand where we're going. So what I would like you to do, and this is gonna, for some of you, again, this might seem really, oh my goodness. Others of you, you might not have enough to eat. Another.
Oh, we got it, wait. I spoke, yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is I'd like to take you on a little trip. Work with me imagination wise. What's the coffee shops in town? Where do you go for coffee?
Firehouse coffee.
Fired up? Okay, so
Firehouse.
10 years from today. 10 years from today, you're sitting in fired up coffee.
Firehouse.
Firehouse, fired up.
I'm fired up there.
I'm fired up to go to Firehouse.
Perfect.
All right, 10 years from today, you're sitting in Firehouse having a cup of coffee, and this young couple walks in, and they walk up to the counter and they ask the person at the counter, "Hey, we're new to town. We've never been to Paynesville before, and we're trying to decide where we want to live. Can you tell us about the school, please?" And the person behind the counter says, "Well, there's Gerald. He's on the school board. Why don't you go ask him?" So they come over to Gerald and they ask that question. Assuming that the school has reached its ideal state of your envisioned future, what would you tell them? So on your stickies, what I'd like you to do is I'd just like you to take 2 minutes and jot down on the sticky, just single words or a couple phrases of what that would look like. What that school district would look like, what it would feel like, what it would sound like, what's going on inside of it, what's going on outside of it. All right, 2 minutes. I'll take the sticky. Perfect.
Oh, I got something to think.
Are you okay?
You want like one thing per sticky?
Yeah, one thought.
Do you need more stickies? One
Oh,
per
I thought I
sticky.
was.
One thought per sticky?
One thought per sticky. Okay, that was a quick 2 minutes. It goes by fast, doesn't it? That wonder invention phase is so fun. So I'd like, when you two work together, right? You two gonna work together, you two gonna work together, you two gonna work together, you three are gonna work together. Alright? See? Just a little think, right? We're doing think, pair, little think, pair, share. Then we're adding the chunk onto the back of it. So together as a pair, I'd like you to take your ideas that you came up with individually, and I'd like you to construct a paragraph. Construct a paragraph. It doesn't have to be a literary work of art or anything like that, but construct it so that you can tell us what your envisioned future is for this district. Does that make sense? All right, go ahead. Okay.
It really is.
Excellent education activities. Effective expectation. Modern. Had more thoughts, I just. Can't really have thoughts about other thoughts. So.
This one was strong.
Sorry.
You wanna be our appendix?
Make decisions on like, where's where it's like, where are they over there?
That was like, maybe myself on some of these.
So.
What would I wanna hear?
Because that kind of goes in with that strong.
Either way.
You don't want to be the person where it's like, yeah, we got to get some home, now we got to put it. And then I want us to be. Yeah. And this was actually more, but at the same time.
Girl.
That was definitely a superintendent And recently split. Four subjects.
Well, I would say high expectations. I think you should say high expectations for.
I was just gonna say, yellow might go there.
Gotta go green.
So yeah, I think, and then obviously.
So this can kind of.
That one's kind of.
Well, then I have to write that.
Okay, all right. Troy gets to make that one kind of almost.
I was just gonna kind of go.
And this one kind of.
I also put,
Yeah, and so I guess I kind of got two parts.
I was just gonna say, in retrospect, I have to some extent, you know.
Yeah.
Expectations for students and staff.
Yeah, so.
Put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, learning stuff.
Presentation, we're talking about college courses.
Yeah. So I started with Paynesville.
Well, maybe we'll start off with the community one, because we want how the community thinks of it, and then we can go into how we're actually making that happen.
Okay, so.
There you go.
I have like academics, I have
Works closely with the community.
children.
okay, so then we have,
You could say.
Because this is what I do.
Excellent academics.
Okay. We're supposed to use this for anything right now?
Yeah, when you have the majority.
Family feel environment.
Family friendly.
Writing. Oh,
through, innovation or including.
By transparent communication.
You want it on the top so that notes can be made below it, or?
Embracing a growth mindset. I'm trying to figure out a good way to word that.
Okay.
Sorry, I feel like I'm taking. Yeah, stop it.
And
So, our school
Like
has
this and then.
progressive, innovative.
yeah, like,
And that's.
That's
the one. Cigarettes.
big strong financial.
No, I was just gonna say.
Innovative and. Complete with preventive,
Environment where everyone belongs from a curriculum. Supportive, positive environment. Yes, with
Modern
technology and ranks among top.
I'm top elevator speech.
Core subjects.
I totally I can't write as fast when you.
Sorry, from this is leading the way with education and with technology.
With. Did you already use innovation?
Technology and then also, which, or maybe
I think there's another.
technology. And which helps us achieve a top 25% rating.
Okay, so curriculum perspective. Technology.
Maintain a top 25% rating for.
But if it says complete with inventive instructors.
Legacy through. I'm spelling everything.
Good.
And,
Okay, what do you have right now?
it's a big run-on sentence.
Then we maybe put yes, also tailors their education to help their students reach their long-term goals. Whether that's
I like this, the two.
higher education or vocational training.
The ones that supportive and positive environment.
Employees.
I'm totally like, it's chicken scratch.
And to reach long-term goals,
Yeah.
Focus.
whether that's
Oh, there it is.
Legacy through.
higher education. Gets all of our stuff.
It does. What if we, I think so anyways. I just. Plays a huge. In my life.
Focusing everything.
I mean, like.
That is a, that is thing, like I say, that's like, yeah, that's from 0, so I don't know his name.
But it's not real, I mean, it's kind of in
I feel like
Being shown, that provides, that provides.
1 minute to kind of tie it together?
if you have poor soils.
Of strong leadership that provides and then,
I mean, I feel I have to, my wife says I don't.
I don't, when you work for attorneys, chicken scratches.
I mean, I'm an engineer, so I.
Which, something to excellent academic.
If I had good handwriting, I'd go.
Right?
Way that we kind of have done, but it's like.
Can you say that? Yeah, please. High expectation.
that provides.
Students.
Elementary schools have
Environment.
I would say with high expectations for all learners.
For all learners.
Potentially their own pattern of learning.
And staff?
We got the elevator speech.
Okay. There we go. For all learners. That we have, which leads to excellent academics through innovation and placing growth. Excellent academics through integration and
History.
through innovation and embracing growth.
You laughed at, I didn't spell that right.
Embracing growth.
It looks right.
Google it.
No, I'm not questioning myself.
Okay, so don't write yet. Yep. Welcoming.
Well, we understand what it is.
First.
Exactly right.
Paynesville Schools embraces a welcoming environment. Sorry, what do you say?
I just said the welcome.
Yeah.
Supportive, positive environment.
I hate when you start questioning yourself.
I usually go in that respect, I usually do either Microsoft or I Google it.
I just type it in just to see what it pulls up.
Yeah, a welcoming, supportive and positive
That's it.
culture will be milestones of
We kind of
said that it would, because of that, it helped.
15 seconds.
Right back.
So how about,
As an individual?
how about, the work the Board of Mayor's, creates.
Yeah, the short film works, this is
the
taken into account.
atmosphere creates a positive.
What's that?
Good, you made it on
I
time.
can't raise.
5, 4, 3, 2,
You can't count down yet.
1. All right, now we're gonna chunk these together.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, the last one is.
You're gonna grab a chair. Come on this side.
Said you
Then we
better
can
say
write it down.
something about this.
Joyce. Bruce and Cheryl.
Okay.
You guys are gonna come on over here. You're gonna join Thomas and Gerald.
Okay.
We're bringing
this
ours
side.
together.
What I want you to do is I want you to share your envisioned future with your partner group. Listen to each other. See if there are phrases or words that really pop out to you, characteristics. Because then what I want you to do is you're going to combine the two together to create one. You're gonna take the best thoughts of both and create one common. There's your. Page to do that on. All right, we're gonna take fast.
gotta compile and come up with one.
So what, council put together with a history of strong.
That's kind of what happened. Yeah, so we put, PAS works closely, PAS works closely to create a safe and family-friendly environment. To build trust by transparent communication.
Facilities, and then we had a list of, yeah, things we're gonna.
We're gonna keep filling in, but we're gonna.
Yeah. Well, I like your, I like this as a start. And
Yep.
then we're kind of like next, would be like, positive culture with high expectations for all learners, leading to excellence academics through innovation and embracing growth. So when you start with like.
So lots of different words.
Strong leadership that provides effective communication with students, parents, and the community. That's a huge, so that
So
communication.
you suppose that person is actually asking on behalf of their students or
I
asking?
like the educational legacy through.
I'd say probably, well,
I would say both to some extent. And
Yeah, we kind of,
And modern, so, and I think.
You're asking something like this about school.
I love that.
It's about no
In 10 years.
a student.
I mean, so I'm putting a little bit of a limiting, right?
Please,
Like in 10 years, are we gonna be able to build new facilities?
Combining.
No, but I think
That
Or
is
are we, is that your
Does both.
evolving?
evolving,
yours is more.
I think that it's, when we look at what the facilities we have outside of the pack,
For the student.
what we've done inside of our facilities is continue to evolve and make that more modern.
Yep,
The way we
I
use
think just trying to
different ways of
presenting.
presenting it.
you know,
Yep.
certain things.
It's really what.
I don't think there's a limitation to our current square footage that says we can't continue to evolve and continue to keep this modern.
Yeah.
But
Cause I guess
Shells.
both of us, we kind of touched on, we've all had.
we just gotta keep that shell together. That was my thought, on, like, I don't think of modern always as brand new and bricks and stone and glass everywhere is modern. I think when I walked in, does it feel, it looked
Does it feel
like
updated?
we are
Yeah.
continuously.
Real world, are we all in the real world?
Yeah, you can walk into an old house and see that it's been modernized or taken care of very
Right,
well.
the shell, but if the shell is there, then you can tell it's like.
Correct.
I'm tracked.
That's what I think of modern, is it's not.
And that evolving makes sense to me.
Correct.
Yep.
This is selling this
If I put in my 2 cents,
as a whole.
I really like
This
this
is why
as a
it's
front
such a
sentence.
school.
Like I like this as a lead off sentence. And I really
I knew
like
that stuff that she-
this, the district has built an educational legacy. Like that's a great tagline in sentence.
We're actually combining both.
Paragraph 1, paragraph 2.
What you have on our paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captures everything you're thinking of.
Maybe we, maybe, probably just say build.
I think so.
That's, I tagline, it's so big. Like, I don't think our district has to be.
This one's almost more like if you were talking
Build the edge.
to the parents' concerns versus this
You
is
know,
more
something
like.
that, but anyways,
Yep.
So I like this part as it's a good end, and then I like if we add a sentence to go along.
okay.
Like,
I like it. It's like you guys are paid to work with each other.
Girls get it right.
Yeah, in Christmas colors.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that.
Alright,
Too early to think about that.
do you like the first sentence he's writing?
Yeah, I really like all that.
And craft that into singular statement.
Positive culture.
Or you could say like Paynesville
Singular statement.
Paynesville schools boasts a positive culture with high expectation for all learners, which means.
Building and education.
I get where that.
I'm gonna start this right here, you guys figure that out and then we'll.
Okay, so that's.
We know who the tenacity person is.
Yeah, I'm gonna start writing. I need to get this job.
Oh, we need that, Gerald, otherwise I'll be up here all day.
Technology, which helps maintain a top 25% ranking for the subject. Our school has an aggressive, inventive, and progressive student learning process. Okay.
That copy shop we had. If I walked into a new community.
Also has.
Those would be the things that would stand out to me.
You could actually tie in the last part of yours, the progressive student learning.
I always do, I always think it's interesting when you talk to someone who's new that they didn't know that the school did that. What, school does that?
Yeah.
School does that?
Good spot.
Yeah.
Cheryl, the last one, we were struggling with this one.
Yeah, we.
This.
So if you're watching this from home,
Out of here.
what I encourage you to do, that's on a sheet of paper.
And have this, the first
Exact
part
statement down.
here,
Answer the
from
question.
here on down the last part, and tuck that right in the middle of it.
Picture the future, 10 years.
Does that make sense?
I like,
How would you describe?
yeah, I like, I think innovation and embracing growth, we don't always that though.
About the school, management.
But like as a positive culture and high expectations for all
Start
learners.
to talk about leading things that we have
Be really
into
specific.
more specifics, back to a line up.
Yeah.
You're going top down and then wrapping up.
I think so too. Someone with better handwriting. I was gonna say I have better handwriting.
Building. Resulting.
Intelligent result
and educational legacy.
2 minutes.
You should see me take notes for the posse.
I like that.
No one can read them.
Resulting in an educational.
Shorthand. I was doing shorthand over there. I was abbreviating because that's how I. But that's how I take notes. Yeah. I have a 2-letter word. It might be 12 letters long. Yep.
Educational legacy.
But no one can read it but me.
It's on all visual.
So if you
Okay,
need
so we got all together. Okay, so.
My handwriting.
History of strong leadership.
That's bad.
Parents and the community. Schools have a positive culture with high expectations.
It's messy, but I'd like to think people can read it, it's just
Resulting in
maybe not
educational
presentable if you're trying to look nice.
But I worked so much with the kids and my sister was.
Look at he'll read, he'll.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that nobody else can read.
You have a really nice handwriting. Yes.
So it's
I
handwritten
voted for
there,
him.
like, it's like.
You
If I really write slow, it give it an okay.
That you
They didn't vote for you?
writing was that.
What, what's the matter? I like that it goes like this, Janelle, I like when it goes like this.
It was, and it's textured.
Yeah, I love it. And I think it's the purple marker.
So it's like Google, I have a font called Gerald.
No, far first.
I know it's the corporate, it's the corporate font.
Yeah.
Hey, Corfit?
Yeah.
I was about to say your full name
Where I crossed it out.
in the board minutes.
Yeah.
And then I got to it and I started doubting that I was gonna say it right, and then I just bailed. I'll just read it, Gerald. Whatever I say. I'll just point to you and say Gerald.
45 seconds.
I learned how to, understand people who speak. When she got upset, she'd speak really, really fast. And my mom would yell at me to come tell her what my sister said. So it's really stood me in.
We just needed scissors and tape, so it would have been.
Oh, right here, embracing.
Copy and paste.
If I could type it, I mean, if I could type it out. Yeah, embracing growth.
But, oh, that's just it. It's just digital nowadays. Then you don't have to worry about your handwriting.
Right? Through Excuse me.
Resulting. In. And. Education.
Educational? Yeah. Educational, okay, yeah, got it.
Oh.
Excellent. Nice.
Oh, no. Last time I had a copy of the coffee shop and you told me that, I'd be like, okay. No, I'm just kidding. Wow.
In English, please?
Not saying no the words coming out of my mouth, but that's the general.
Do you have any job openings? And I would say, why, yes, we always have a place for you.
He gave the coffee shop thing all that. Coffee sounds really good.
You're right now?
Yeah. I really want to come out.
I do too.
Good stuff. All right.
Before you close the door, I'll.
Well, you heard it, John. Just step here and then you can sit here.
Okay, we're part of the.
We're part of the group now.
You can just sit there.
Well, that's okay.
No, he says that's okay. He's like, no, I'm
I
up.
want a camera view over here.
Got it?
Forgot we're still.
Good.
All right, who's your spokesperson, Gerald?
All right, yeah, you got it.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
I love it. He stands up all proud and ready.
Hear ye, yeah. A school district with a history of strong leadership that provides effective communication with students, parents, and the community. Paynesville Area Schools has a positive culture with high expectations for all learners, embracing growth through innovation, resulting in an educational legacy of excellence.
All right.
Look our team.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we came up with PAS works closely with the community to create a safe and family-friendly environment. We have built trust by transparent communication and strong financial management. From a curriculum perspective, PAS is leading the way with technology, which helps maintain a top 25% rating for core subjects. Our school has an aggressive, innovative, and progressive student learning process, complete with innovative and invested instructors. And PAS also tailors their education to reach long-term goals for students, whether that's higher ed or vocational training.
All right.
Did you hear any repeats in the two of these?
Innovation. Communication.
Yeah, really heard that communication and innovation. I'm just gonna do that on one sheet.
I had fiscal stewardship, by the way. We're like, yeah, just spend it.
What I'm gonna be doing with this, is a kind of a projection forward. I'm gonna be taking this and just kind of pouring over it and really digging in and looking for those similarities of how it's all pulling together and tying together. Because when we come back to that core leadership team, the strategic planning team, we want to be able to bring in an example to them of this is what your leaders, this is what your board leaders have envisioned. What do you have to add to this?
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
So what we wanted to do today was to create that foundation in which to build from. All right. Hey, and I didn't lose anybody.
No.
You're smiling, you look like you're having fun, so I think we're in a good spot. Uh-oh, what did I lose?
I didn't touch anything, but I can.
Well, you go and take it to the next one.
Oh, I wonder, when you got this sideshow, because it was gonna leave the meeting. Now you should be active again on that.
Then I did that. So
It's gonna lead, so he'd click off it.
So,
So then.
I wanna take a few minutes and make sure that everybody's clear and familiar with the path that you're on right now. You know, when you look at the strategic plan of the school district, I'm not gonna read it out to you. You guys probably have this memorized. You can say it 5 ways inside and out, front and back. But this is the vision, that is, you've been working towards. And again, if you think of terminology, to make sure our terminology is, you know, cohesive, that vision is, it's what you're aspiring to become. What is that new creation that you currently are not? That's the importance of vision, is to be able to look to the future. As leaders, one of my mentors says, you know, the job of a leader is to be able to see further and first. Further and first. So you're seeing further than what people who aren't as ingrained into the school district as you are. And you're seeing it first so that you can lead it there. Make sense? So, you know, in this vision, this is the vision you've been working on for about the last 5-ish years, I believe it is, something along that lines. When you look at that, how does that look in comparison to this, to where you want to go in the next 10? There's some similarities.
I think especially the mission side of it, and I'm not saying the mission side is wrong, but I see where that mission side now is starting to drive us into what we have here. So we talked about block train or block scheduling. When they put that, and I wasn't on the board then, but when they put the original strategic plan together, that I don't know if anybody had the thought of that, but that wasn't part of that at the time. So we're starting to evolve into now starting to understand maybe growth potentials. Somebody has gotten us there. But now from that, now we're starting to look at this here. And I think both of those paragraphs put together can really lead into people understanding what it is Paynesville Area School has to offer because of where it's been and the future of where it's going. And so it'll answer Bruce's concerns about maybe we've lost students because of them not wanting to come here because there aren't those areas that they're looking for as far as potential learning, but we can bring students back in or bring more students in because of what we have to offer.
Yeah. You know, and what you're gonna be crafting with this envision future, it's part of the vision. Right? It's the more detailed map.
Yep.
So that you can somebody should be able to read that envision future, and they should have a crystallized view to be able to see the movie in their head of this is where you're going. Oh, that's really cool. And that vision then will be a shorter version, which encapsulates this is where we're going, and this is how we do things with our values. So, you know, our mission is to prepare students with academic, social, and personal skills to succeed in their career and community. Who we are, what we do, how we do it. Does that explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, because if that's current state, now we're looking at that future state. And so that will be 10 years from now because of where we're at current state and where we're gonna go future state.
Yeah. So then your strategies for accomplishing your vision was growth. Those are your strategic goals. By the way, I'm gonna use a little bit different terminology and we can work out the terminology however you want. I'm gonna put it into my head. Strategic goal, priority. If this is a priority in our district, is that you want everyone to grow. That's how I view it. And then, you know, through your strategies, provide what does that mean in growth. But as you've looked, this is what your strategies have been. So that growth. Communication was your second strategic goal or priority. and financial allocation and fiscal stewardship was your third. So you wanted those three things to get you there. So now as we start looking forward, as we craft out that envisioned future, that new vision, and if we tweak the mission or not, that's totally up to you. What I think I hear you saying is, we're gonna need to tweak a little bit to be able to direct it to where we're going. But then from that point, then we'll start identifying, all right, what then are those priorities that we need to address in the next 5 years in order to get us to that vision? Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm curious, from your perspective then, if you were to say that that plan was 100, it's ideal, that plan would be 100% effective, what went well with that plan over the last 5 years? What went well with it? Growth, communication, financial allocation, strategies.
I thought it went well. My impression is it got a little more specific, and the specific items moved and changed as we did.
And that's kind of encompassing all three.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I think this is my third one.
There's
For the one time I've been on the board. So, you know, you kind of have that part of you saying, yeah, you set it up, but then it dies in the water. Well, we were trying not to do that the second time around. And Janelle, when she got here, we went through a lot of stuff where we had grown through some stuff, and she was in the process of adjusting that. Because what do you do when you get a new fund? Does that mean we have you back in and you just do a brand new one, or do we make it flow? That's what we were trying to do there. And I think we did that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you should be looking at, it's not a dead document. It's something that you're consistently looking at. If you're looking at your data and making adjustments as you go through. And one, you know, and I'll say this just to fluff feathers, but sometimes you don't get to see this because you're outside of your district. If you talk to people outside of this district, you have a leader who has a very positive reputation for making things happen. And not everybody gets to say that. So when you've got a superintendent in that position that is good at making things happen, having this great direction to give those work orders, you know they're getting it done. So what else?
Modernizing / updating current facilities.
I don't know it was 100% effective, but I think our communication has improved drastically. I don't know what we're doing that is 100% effective because we're still tweaking everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if 100% is a good number.
We can't just stay at one, we're gonna have to tweak stuff to.
Yeah, we can't say it's perfect. It's never perfect.
From this activity, this is the ideal state, is the plan was 100% effective. So what's going well that's driving you towards it being completely effective? It's good clarification, Cheryl.
I'm gonna say something about as far as our teaching, but I don't know how to put it in there. I'd say updating. I don't know if updating is the right word, but really, again, going into that letters, doing what you heard here, using the fast bridge data. I don't know.
I'll expand on that. One of the things that's in there is the professional learning communities and
Yeah.
how professional learning communities are focused on student outcomes. That's been because that was one of the growth and the academic growth and the, so those are, that's, I think, to piggyback on the academic letters component that it's been a plus.
Yep.
So your intentional training driven through your PLCs? anything else in that plan that you'd say, yeah, that just jumps up to me that was really effective in helping us get to where we wanted to go?
I guess just in general, the financial management seemed to be pretty good compared to some of the other schools in the
Yeah.
state. What was the
Absolutely.
thing where we're one of only like a quarter of the schools that are not thinking about cutting jobs right now? From a few board meetings ago. What was it? It was like. Either way, I know one of our previous board meetings, they're talking about that.
Yeah, safe to say, budget cuts are gonna be something that are very predominant across the state. And you saw all the failed referendums. How about on the Delta side, are the things that just, it's not that they failed, but they didn't go as well as we thought they would, we really probably needed to tweak these a little bit more.
I can't really think of very much. Something didn't go, but we reacted. You know what I mean?
We tweaked it to.
Yeah, we reacted to make it, you could put the block schedule on that one had we not done anything.
Sure, and it's, well,
But we did do something, so it didn't go there, it stayed on the other side.
still tweaking.
And it may be we tweak it right out of the block schedule and it's back to what it was the first thing, but.
It's a great culture to have,
We're
a culture
moving.
that's used to tweaking things and.
We have to move.
Yeah.
Flip it to goal two. Can you flip it to goal two for a minute?
I would say, and it supports kind of Cheryl's observation, but that our communication has increased, but I still don't think we found the sweet spot. And it's really around understanding the most effective and efficient methodology to communicate multifaceted, right? Like, because I think what is good communication for one population is not going to be effective for another population. And whether we're using the press, whether we're using social media, whether we're using, right, like, it can be, I know nothing about the school. You know? But then we just haven't found the right spot, right? And so I would say that that's a delta of a continued, like, but I would say, if I'm gonna guess, is you look at strategic planning across the state and having this conversation with school districts, it's probably a very, very common theme. And I think we have to know, and we have to continue to strive and have those, you know, different communication channels.
And
In communication, we've done things that work for communication. The one that sticks in my mind mostly is when we have something that's quite major, we get out and survey the public. And we've done well with the surveys to give us more guidance on how to move forward. When I first got on the board, we didn't do that. So we go into this referendum, everybody thinking it's all cheery, and we got ousted. I'm not sure we've really lost much referendum since the one that I'm thinking about, but we got into trying to have a better understanding of what your stakeholders are thinking about rather than out of our separate bubbles. So you have a bubble here at the school. Each of us independently have a bubble network of people that we're with all the time. But what about all the people that aren't in our bubbles? How do we get to them?
Yeah.
And I've always thought that has worked well for us. It also forced us to get enough communication out there that we put it together. So Danelle's good at it. She just lays it all out and then addresses from beginning all the way through the end of questions that people may have about it, but it's a data sheet that's there. We didn't have a data sheet like that before. It was conversation here, conversation there. Yeah, rah, rah, you should come in and vote for this because your kid's playing volleyball. It didn't get us anywhere.
All right.
On the Delta side, just real quick, I want to circle back to what Thomas and Janelle had talked about earlier that had been mentioned, and it has to do with academic, as far as parent or academic involvement, maybe more at the higher grades, so the high school age children and the parents. So I think it's fortunate that both of you are here to hear how the elementary side, how, you know, as far as the percentage of parents that were involved, you know, for the conferences. But then it kind of tailored off when you really got into, and I'm not gonna say the secondary as a whole, the secondary school as a whole, but more so I would say probably in the high school age. So that's that freshman, the senior. So that academic spread there.
I'm not sure we're alone on that topic.
You know, we might not.
I'm guessing all schools have a problem. We came to every conference, and when we got into high school, we could be 10 minutes early and we always got in right away because half of them weren't, there was nobody there.
On the positive side,
Yeah, on the positive side, it was great for us. Yeah.
I'm wondering too, if part of that at the secondary level is the parents are so involved in being able to get online and see their students' progress and ask questions of the teachers and whatnot, whereas before, we couldn't do that until we went to conferences.
Right.
I suppose.
I agree.
So possibly they're not concerned because the student's doing okay, or, you know, they've had their questions answered already. That might be part of them not coming in at the.
It could be exactly something to look into, you know. Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna shift this up. I'm gonna do an ad lib.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna make a request.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate that. So, key stakeholders. So, you were asked to be thinking about, who do we need to make sure we have representation of or at the table? When we look at the stakeholder-driven plan, our target is always to have about 20 to 25% of the community based on the student population. That sounds kind of weird, but your student population is about 860 kids, give or take, right? K-12?
K-12, so it's a little, well, it's a little bit higher than that.
A little bit higher?
Yeah, a little bit higher.
So, even if we pull it to 900.
Yep.
20%, 180. So our goal would be to have 180 people within the community that have experienced a need in a small group. When we do the focus groups, that's what we want to target in. We want to get roughly 180-ish people that are coming in small groups of 10 to 12. Sometimes they bloom a little bit more based on time, sometimes a little less because of time. But in groups of about 10 to 12, where we're just simply sitting down in a room like this, Cindy's at the computer, and we're just asking questions. We ask the same questions of everybody, and we just gather data. This is all the perceptual data that's coming from those people. Because that perceptual data then is used to drive a survey, a prioritization survey, that we'll do, which then gives you information on, this is what the stakeholders in the district really suggest are the priorities. These are your marching orders from your community. And that's what we try to create through that process. So the tall task of the list is, in order to get that many people on the table, we've got to create a list of that many people, right? And I suggested to Janelle something that we've tried before that has had really great results, and it actually gets the kids involved into the process. We want to create the list, and then we want to have our students do some phone calling and inviting people to come to the table and participate in a small group about their school. And the typical response we'll ask in the small group, how many of you got a phone call from a student? And inevitably, most of the hands will go up and say, How many of you would have been here had that not been a student? And then the giggles start. So it's a powerful strategy for getting people to the table. So when we look at who needs to be to the table, Cindy is, I'm gonna change pens here. Cindy's at a computer. I'm gonna be writing on a sheet of paper. And she's gonna be filling a spreadsheet. We're not gonna get 180 people probably on this list. But then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn around and we're gonna share a sheet with you. Or we're gonna ask you, after you've walked out of here, to go into that and populate more people. Make sense?
Yep.
So let's get a start on this. Who needs to be some power? Don't pigeonhole yourself to be thinking about, well, you know, I don't want Joe in here because he's just gonna come and vomit over everybody and just bash the school in this session. No, I want Joe part of that discussion. Because we need to know what people who are disenfranchised or dissatisfied with the district are thinking, as much as we need to know about the people who are really satisfied with the school. Because in the end, it's everybody's school. We don't have the leisure to just serve the people that support us. We're serving everybody. So it's important to understand all of those people. So let's just start. Let's start throwing out names.
So when you do this, you put a percentage on the different areas. Take government officials, nominal amount of people. Service organizations, not as big as they used to, relatively non-pastoral, nominal. Community members and parents, is it like when we're thinking of people, obviously the parents would be a pretty easy one because you have it all here at the school. But when you're looking at community members, when you take our district's population must be what, 4,500?
I think it was 66,000, like.
6,000.
Yeah.
They got 900 kids in the school. We have to have a lot of community members.
Yeah.
And, which is good for us, because that's the communication that we need to increase anyway.
Right.
These are just things to get your brains going. People to think about. So yeah, no, I don't offer up a percentage on how many, what percentage of community members, that's not gonna stick. Because the majority of people that are gonna participate are gonna be parents and community members without students. They may fit into these, this is just meant to be a memory jogger.
Start a new sheet.
Yeah. All right, so if you think about who are people that who need to be coming to the table, who do we need to talk to?
I would say our community advisory committee, so all of the members on our community advisory committee should be there. Those are gonna be all parents, and I can put those names out there. Government officials, I think of our mayor, Sean Reinke. I think of Tarek, our city administrator. I think of Jeff Bertram, our county commissioner, who is invested in the community.
What did you say before, Jeff?
Tarek,
Yeah, don't ask.
T-A-R-I-Q,
City administrator.
I think, is it? T-A-R-I-Q. T-A-R-I-Q. Tarek is our city administrator. I would say our city council members should be included.
Or at least a few,
I think they all should be there.
Oh, yes.
They all should be invited.
Yes.
You know? I think.
Yeah, Kristen Township, community members of the township.
Yep,
Or maybe townships.
Did I say townships?
yep, so townships, we'd have Paynesville. We have, Howick
Yeah,
in the south, Roseville Township. So township councils, yep.
Eden Lake.
Eden Lake, yep. Okay.
Yep.
I think our big families, like the big family names across town, who are the big family names across town that we need to just make sure are at the table? I think of the staff names that have big names, we've got the Spaniards, the Robergs, the Mahers,
Wellies.
say again?
Wellies.
The Wellies, you know, those are all the leasers. So those big family names that have lots of.
I also think someone who's newer to your district needs to be here, they have different eyes than the
Yep.
ones
Yep.
that lived here the whole time.
Yep, some of the newbies.
Somebody who's.
Equal representation from parents of every grade level.
Yep,
Right?
yep.
Would it pay to have some?
Including early childhood.
Yeah, I was going to just say that people who, kids aren't quite yet,
Right.
but are gonna be for the
Early
foreseeable
childhood,
future.
so that would be like our birth to 5 census, you know, that inviting into that group. I think about, our sports community, some of the individuals who are always working at our tables. You know, our line judges, you know, Don Knoll and.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like all the people that Rick was just talking about that show up, that are, they're showing up every day, they're working the, you know, our announcers, our.
I think someone from the arts community, because they are often feeling not represented, so somebody who can speak to whether that's music.
Do you have a list of like the youth volunteer coaches across the years?
Well, I would say.
say across the years, but in the last year or so.
Sure.
I'm just thinking, because to that same point, I'm one of them, and there's few of us that tend to coach everything because, and which means we also usually go to everything, you know, we're active, engaged, and so it'd be a good group to contact because they're more likely to be engaged in.
Right.
Exactly.
Cindy, when I'm picturing that spreadsheet looking like right now, guess where this is going is headings. So that when we send it out, we can start populating who are these different groups.
I would say our Lions Club, the Community Foundation, the Economic Development Committee, the Economic Development, EDAP, whatever that is, the Legion.
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber, Jacob Bertram.
Do we have much for business leaders that aren't local that would still be good on that stakeholder list?
Who do
You know what I
you
mean?
do,
And 'cause- no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, who do you do like internships with or that you connect?
Yeah, well, like
Community.
Lewis Industries
Industries,
and
yeah.
Nelson, Avon Plastics and, the industrial loop.
Right.
You know, like that,
Secretaries.
Centric Care needs to be here, yeah.
Would it hurt to maybe reach out to some of the local higher ed groups to see if they wanna chime in on what they wanna see from schools?
I would say
Like,
we should reach out to our partners that are doing our, PSCO and college in the schools classes. You know, so that'd be, you know, well, we can fill them in.
It'd be interesting to get feedback from, families who live in the district who aren't enrolled.
Our homeschool families.
Yeah, I think
From enrolled to homeschool out.
a big category.
Yeah.
Big category.
And I would say that, say again?
Senior citizens.
Oh, senior citizens, yeah.
Definitely, our senior citizens have very strong feelings
Yes,
about our school.
they do.
And we may be able to tap into that somewhat through the Rose Center or through, you know, that might be another place. Or if we could, reach out to
Well,
the assisted living and have some.
I was gonna say that both the Rose Center and the Green Roof have boards. So, you know, when I attend those meetings, so they have boards that, you know, somebody.
And are the boards representative of the community or are they?
Of their community.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so
Rose-
they're like made of the
Rose.
members, not of like.
ROSE, yep.
Yeah, these are our seniors, that's under in that Green Roof Area Center, that's just one part.
And we can take the focus groups to them.
Oh, yeah.
As I was just gonna ask, 'cause if we could take that to the Green Roof Center, you know, you could probably get more involvement than, in people coming in, knowing that, hey, I can come to the Green Roof this time.
They
this time, this
have
time.
a very nice.
And with that, it might be the
Yes.
churches, you know, like the, where we have our, you know, the major churches of our community. And that would hit it'd hit a lot of the families, it'd hit a lot of, you know, we'd have some overlap there, that might be a place to.
Would it make sense to involve a few students, just?
Oh,
What's that?
yeah.
Those are built, staff and students are automatically built.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question, because that was a, those are givens, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
I'll just make the note down here, so we know they're.
and just so that the board is aware, so the way that we're gonna capture the staff is on MLK Day. We've got all staff coming in, and there's no students that day, so we'll have a.
We're gonna do it as part of the.
It's gonna be part of the day. Yep.
Jacob Bertram and the Chamber?
That's on the.
Have they got him all right? Yep, got him.
Chamber down there.
Bottom left.
Yep, Jacob is his name.
Jacob is the one, yeah.
I mean, that would they could be connected.
Do we have on there the recovery center folks?
No, the recovery center.
Yeah, because Chris and I were just, I'm sorry, we were having a sidebar, folks, and we were just trying to figure out, how do we pull them in? And not to sound negative, but how do we view them? Because a lot of them are just very, very short term here.
Yeah, it's very.
But I think, but I think they have a voice that we need to hear.
Well, they're gonna give us insight.
Yeah.
There's some that are long-term too, though.
Well, and some of them choose
Choose to stay.
Yeah.
because of the school.
Yep.
We have the library on there.
The library,
Friends of the library.
Friends of the Library Group. Trail guards, that's another.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some overlap there between the.
Yeah, see, once we start putting names down the
We'll see
list,
where those commonalities, yeah.
There's a lot of.
Yeah.
use the spreadsheet to remove.
It's the same 80% of it is done by 20% of the people.
Yeah.
So this spreadsheet then, can we, Janelle, can we give that link to you?
Sure.
To be able to send out?
I'll distribute.
Okay. So we'll get that out to you and we'll just start populating in those groups. Don't let that be limiting though. And if there's something we forgot, think about who's your neighbor? Who's the guy down the block? Who's the guy around the corner? You know, who probably run in at the coffee shop, the gas station. Who are the farmers in town? You know,
Oh, the farmers, that's the ag community is a big,
That is a big
that's a
one.
big community.
I'll do that in green.
Thank you, perfect.
Recent retirees, or recent graduates, sorry now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, alumni.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just recent either, I mean, you can.
In the
A
last
few different
10 years,
groups,
5
you know,
years.
So,
and you can get college age, just out of college, every so often.
the list you're gonna want populated with phone numbers, correct? People and phone
Yes.
numbers.
Oops. Yes.
And some of those numbers, I assume, as long as you have the name, the district probably has a lot of those numbers, especially on the parent side of things, but.
On the parent side of things, we have, but we don't maintain any database outside of the student data.
So again, going back to 20 to 25% of our population is what we're gonna target.
Okay.
All right. 8 things we wanna know. This is where I have an ask.
Okay,
My ask is, as a board, can we make you a focus group? An early focus group, where we set aside 90 minutes for the 8 questions.
I like that, yes.
that's good.
I didn't like the feel of it, I feel like it was going to rush you. And just the way you've built off of one another's thoughts, it could be really valuable to take that full 90 minutes and dig into those questions.
I'll provide you dates on the meetings I don't want to go to, I'd like.
Catch you if it's
That's perfect. The strategic planning team, you know, I recommend for those 2 meetings, I recommend between 30 and 34 people. You see my recommendation breakdown. You don't have to take the recommendation. If you want it smaller because you know the culture of your school, that's great. I don't recommend you go much bigger than that. Because if you start getting above 40, you start losing the effectiveness and being able to corral and rein people in. And, but you don't want to go too small because you don't want brain drain where somebody dominates the conversation at a table. So this has kind of been a sweet spot, that I've found, and within that, as a school board, what do you want to do? Do you want that to be representation? I say no less than 3. That way you stay underneath the quorum, if you do that. Or if you want all board members to be part of this. It's an important piece of the puzzle. We just have, if that's gonna be the case, then we just need to follow open meeting law. And then do things with that. I would, within that, I'm gonna put if you do, what a request that I would have, is that process doesn't necessarily fit itself for video. It would be frustrating for viewers, and it can be limiting for contributors.
Sure. Yep.
So, obviously your superintendent's gonna be involved, your administrators. I recommend at least 5 teachers, at least 2 support staff, at least 4 parents, at least 4 community members, at least 3 students, aside from the focus group piece. We'll, be able to draw some of the student leaders to have part of that, and at least 3 at large, where you just, okay, we've kind of populated these. Now we just have 3 more people that we really think would be good to have on this.
Okay.
Right? This is something we don't have to accomplish tonight, no. This is an assignment for you.
Okay.
That in the end, you designate who you want that team to be. In conjunction with working with the board.
Sounds good.
All right. Timeline as we close, just to make sure everybody's clear on the timeline that we've discussed. We've got some hard dates that are already in, with our focus groups and where the frames where we want the survey distribution and data collection and, you see, January 19th. As Jill mentioned, that's gonna be when we're gonna make sure we get our staff administration in on that date. The focus groups, how does that look? How does that work? We will come and we will spend 12 hours in a day just being here. And we will rotate people right through, 90-minute sessions. We schedule a 15-minute break, so maybe we can hit the bathroom. But the intent is to keep things moving and to keep groups coming in with not a lot of lag in between on dates. So we try to conduct those in a short window of time. And May 1st is our date for wanting to have the draft complete. When I say draft, it's the final plan waiting for your approval. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
You did awesome. We just worked through a ton of stuff and the brain power was great. I'm excited, guys. I'm totally off script. I'm excited where your thought process is. You sound like you collectively work really well as a team.
We do.
That's exciting for this community.
Yep.
So kudos to you for what you've done and the way you're doing it. I know a lot of superintendents that would say, Janelle, we would love to have that cohesiveness. You're giving her a gift.
There's been some good work here.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and be
Thank
looking
you.
for that, looking for that spreadsheet coming up to you.
Okay. Rachel, do you want to table the
I suppose.
Yep,
Round table?
round table and
the request for information, yeah, we can table that.
Table the table.
Table,
so all that's left is
adjourning.